everyone, welcome back to my channel. Filming from through in here again because it's a little bit quieter, or a lot quieter than right next to the window. And it's a lovely sunny day. It's Saturday, so I hope you're enjoying the sunshine. I've called this one something along the lines of "Do you own a business?" Just to talk about what we understand a business to be in brief. This is just like going to be version 1 of this probably, because I probably will update the videos as time goes by. I've not kind of sat down and thought what's everything I know on this subject. I'm just kind of thinking of something to talk about and kind of talking about it off the top of my head. So in terms of where I am for August, I can't believe it's already the 7th of September. I've just actually done the figures for August, or updated them based on what I actually did. So my target was 1,500 potatoes. Yeah, 1,500 potatoes. I did about 1,000, a bit more than 1,000. So deficit of about 450, obviously. Yeah, deficit about 450. So that's, I can't actually see the last month there. I just took a screenshot of my board, but yeah, so that's kind of probably, I don't know if it's the furthest I've been off my target. I need to go and look, but yeah, it's a good bit away from my target. Bear in mind the target has gone up by 300 potatoes, so it's still up on the month before, which is good. It's good to kind of see things heading in the right direction. But yeah, I would have liked to have been closer to my target. And we're now in September, as I said, so now the target goes up again by another 300 potatoes. So that means I need to try and make 1,800 potatoes, even though I missed my target last month. So it's good to always be, I think, striving to do more, and it motivates you having targets that you have to reach. But there's kind of a balance between, I think I said this maybe before, like debilitating yourself by doing, making them too high, or beating yourself up too much if you don't hit them or whatever. And if you just kind of go along with comfort and don't really push yourself, you'll probably find that what you earn is about what you need. So you probably have an idea in your head of, I need 2,000 a month to live on, or 3,000 a month or whatever, and you'll probably find that what you get out of your business is what you need, unless you're pushing yourself, because our brains are lazy. So it's easy to kind of rest on your laurels, and when you expect that you're going to be making enough. But I'm trying to become a philanthropist, which is a pretty insane goal. So I need to keep pushing myself, and I'm obviously going to need to figure out how I'm going to get from, these are really small potatoes, what I'm doing just now, to bigger potatoes, and then I'm gonna need to figure out how I can jump into like a different league from the kind of stuff I'm doing and the kind of stuff I've done before. I do have some ideas about that, but I'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, happy that things are going well. I've only been here, is what, the 4th month here, so yeah, I think that that's really good. I'm feeling very grateful for where I am, well, where I am as a place, but also where I am business wise. So yeah, good to push yourself, but good to have humility and be grateful for what you have. So yeah, if you're never happy until you get what you think you want, then you're not going to be spending very much time being happy. So yeah, it's awesome to set high targets and to hit them, but it's always good as well just to kind of keep your feet on the ground and think, I'm grateful for what I did, and I'm grateful for how well things have gone. So I'm not really looking to increase the income too much more monthly from entertainment, because that would mean tying up more of my time in one aspect of the business. It's just one business just now, and that's not financially intelligent, because it's financially intelligent to have multiple income streams. And as we've seen from the pandemic, especially, if there was suddenly another pandemic, then right now I would be screwed, because all my income comes from, or nearly all my income comes from supplying entertainments to bars and clubs. So yeah, it wouldn't be intelligent to do that. And also, doing entertainments in bars and clubs and stuff, it's not a saleable business. So this is, I suppose, going to lead into what I wanted to talk about in this video. To become a company director, I always think of Peaky Blinders when I'm thinking about this. And they say, yeah, we're going to come legitimate, and we're going to be a limited company, and they're dead chuffed about the fact that they're a limited company. I think that sometimes people can let it go to their heads a little bit when they own a limited company, because and maybe I did as well. I don't know. It was a long time ago, 2009. But yeah, to become a company director of a limited company, all you need is about 30 quid. So pretty much anyone can do that. So being a company director of your own company is not the same as being a company director in the wider employment world. So you need to be pretty accomplished in something to become a director of somebody else's company. So it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, having your own company. I absolutely advocate having your own company. It's the route I've gone down for some time, but it's good to also, yeah, again, just like have some humility and perspective. And if you're thinking you're already doing too well or really well or something, then you're not really leaving much room for growth. So I would basically say my perspective is that if you have a company like I do at the minute, where you're a one-man band, or you're working for the business as well as running the business, then in my eyes, it's not a true business. It's a job. And that might feel like I just slapped you in the face, because I think that's kind of the way that I felt when I kind of realized that. But you have like running a business, and you have working for a business, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, you don't have to start there, but that's the way a lot of people start, and that's the way I've kind of started. And most of the businesses I have been basically like jobs that I've created, and I've managed to create enough work, or more work than I could do myself. So in some aspects, some of the companies I've had, I've been able to, or needed to subcontract other people. So I think that before you think about having a business, and what I wish I'd sort of known a long time ago and thought about a long time ago, is what kind of business do you want to have? Because, and I don't mean what industry, or whether it's service or whatever. What I mean is that, are you happy with basically making a job for yourself, and its legal entity, if you like, is that it's a limited company? And if you're happy with that, then there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely cool. That's what I'm doing right now, but as a means to get in somewhere else. And that, I don't mean to say I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. But basically, I think that a company, like a true company, is one that you don't have to be involved in. So Richard Branson owns, or at whatever point he wrote whatever book it was I was reading of his, he said that he owned 300 companies. So obviously, like, he's not working for 300 companies, and he's not heavily involved in the day-to-day of 300 companies. Who could do that? I mean, it's difficult. I think the most I've had on the go at one time was 4 companies. and it's really difficult, to do multiple things at once. I can do multiple things at once. It's really hard to drive multiple things forward at once. Okay, so you might be able to juggle lots of different things, which I've had to get good at doing, and that's fine. But there's only so much you can truly drive forward, and also, um, so basically, what I would see, what I would ideally see a company as is, um, I could go away for 6 months or a year, and I could come back to a business. So I would have very, very little input into it, and it would keep running, it would keep earning me money, and I don't have to do anything. Or if I do have to do anything, it's maybe take some phone calls or something like that. To me, that's a true company. Um, Something that it's pretty much passive. It's something that you're earning out of, but you've built it up to the degree that you don't have to be working for the company, and you don't have to be spending a lot of your time managing it. So that's what I would see as like an ideal business, if you like. Because if you have a business like that, then you can have lots of businesses like that. If you have a business that you need to be heavily involved in, then you're working for, like I am right now, then it's very hard to kind of move into different things and to have lots of things going at once. So another thing that I think is important to consider is your business saleable? Because speaking from experience, none of the businesses I've had really were saleable. They might have been making good money, or they were, or most of them were making good money. But again, if it's you basically working for your company, and maybe you've got a van or some vans, or maybe you're renting a unit or whatever. But if basically the company is you going around doing things, providing services, so like AV engineering, I did that I still do that, but I did that as a main thing as a company. Is it really a saleable business? Okay, yeah, people have sold AV companies before, but what I'm getting at is that if you're heavily involved in it and you're working for it, then you kind of are the business. So can you really sell it, or can you sell it for a good amount of money? Possibly not. Maybe you can. If you can, then that's great. So when you're thinking about what kind of company to do, think about whether it's something that you can build up and you're going to be able to step back from, if that's what you want to do, if you want to own multiple companies. And also think about whether it's saleable, because I don't know about you, but as an entrepreneur, as a rookie entrepreneur, if I start doing something new, if I see like an opportunity, I'm seeing lots of opportunities here, so that's kind of part of the reason why I've decided to not fully move abroad. We're going to spend a lot more time abroad, is the plan, but I'm not just going to leave here now for multiple reasons. I'm thinking along the lines of having some companies here, and keeping a home here, and this is all kind of like conjecture just now. I need to make this happen. This is imaginary. These are goals, targets. So basically, if you're gonna want to sell your company, yeah, I know where I was going with that. So yeah, as an entrepreneur, I'm really passionate about doing something. So I'm like, yeah, okay, see a problem there that I can fix, or I think I can do that better because in this particular industry, people are getting really bad service, they're not happy, it's not good value, whatever the case may be. For me, the best thing is taking something from nothing, from an idea in my head. And I think I've said it before, every business started as an idea in somebody's head. So an idea can start in your head and become a successful business, and you need to believe that. There's nothing about you that means that you can't do that. It's just all regular people had a good idea, had the courage and the self-belief to do something about it, and the persistence. It takes a lot of persistence, a lot of effort, a lot of faith, definitely some risks. If you want to accumulate, you have to speculate. You have to take risks, but calculated risks protect the downside always, as Richard Branson would always say. So basically, think about what think about what you want to do. Is this something that you want to be involved in for a few years? So for me, like, I might start something. I recognize that I could start something, be really passionate about it, get it going, make it successful, but then probably I'd want to then be putting the enthusiasm into starting something else from scratch rather than just running that business for however long. So for me, it's smart to think about building businesses that are saleable. And that's not what I'm doing right now, but what I'm doing right now is creating capital. So basically that means that, if you're going to put all the energy into building a business, if it's saleable, then you can then go, okay, that was fun, I enjoyed doing that, I've created a company, it's worth X amount of money, and now I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to go, thank you very much, I'll have all that money and let somebody else worry about running it. And that person might be somebody who just wants to have a successful company, isn't worried about trying to have multiple companies, whatever the case may be. Or it could be like another company in your industry that wants to expand or whatever. So basically, that's something you can do. Obviously, the other thing you can do is, if you've built a really good company and it doesn't need much input from you, then obviously you can have other people running it for you, and you can be profiting from it, which is obviously one of the things that Richard Branson does. He's really good at building good teams and building good companies. So if you have that skill, then you can obviously make a lot of money out of it, as we've seen. So just think about what you want out of a business, and know whether it really is a business or not, because you might own a limited company and you might have created a really good income for yourself, and that's okay. And if you're going to be happy doing that for however long, for forever, for whatever, then that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you like the idea of being able to sell a business at some point, then make sure you build up a saleable company, because just because it has a really good turnover, just because you're making really good money out of it, doesn't mean that somebody's going to want to buy it. So it's definitely worth thinking about at the beginning as to whether or not you want to do that, because that will kind of dictate the direction you're going to take. And the hardest thing is obviously getting started and going from employee to self-employed or to running a small company. So maybe that's a good topic for the next video. So I hope that's helpful to you. Ask yourself, do I really own a company, or have I created a job for myself? What does that mean for me? Am I happy with that situation? If you are, brilliant. If you're not, then what can you do about it? Are you happy? You're going to be happy doing what you're doing for the next 30 years or 20 years or whatever the case may be? Or is there a way that you can kind of do something that you're doing, or something like what you're doing just now, but do it slightly differently so it's a saleable company? Because I think, well, in my case anyway, and in other cases, there are things that I could do similar to things I've done. That's so coded. But I would actually be creating a saleable company that I can make money out of. So I'll leave you with that thought. Hopefully that's helpful to someone. Thanks to everyone who's watching, following, supporting, subscribing. I'm getting closer to my first 500 subscribers, which is great because that opens up more tools on YouTube. So if you do enjoy watching my videos, then hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.